system is lagging.
Like it must be your computer, it's not us.
Yeah, yeah, it's not us. Okay. Coach, can you go over right quick before you start, like how you get the list and how you're doing that 1805? Because I had to restart my drawings,
The
my
list,
charts. Yeah,
the
the
LIS.
yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's it.
So LIS, all you do is go back to the 1605 candle of the previous day. So
Mm-hmm.
right now I loaded up the fifth. This is the fifth of the last week. And right here is the 605, the closure of the 605 candle. Right here. So see how it's a 1605?
Mm-hmm.
It opened here, went up and closed here. So it's marked off right there.
Okay.
And I just put a line, an orange line all the way to the next day. And it's only really valid. I mean, you could do it pre-market, but I normally don't use it or utilize it until after the market opens.
Okay. And then what do you do for the 405?
And that's the same thing. 16 is 4 o'clock
Oh,
p.m.
okay, duh. Thank you.
Yep. 1605 is normally good the next day after 9:30.
Okay.
So how do you use that at 9:30?
If the market is above that orange line, I'm looking to buy. If it's below the orange line at 9:30, I'm looking for a sell.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and the reason why that's a level is because the market makers get off work at 4:05. You know what I'm saying? The institutional traders. So that's why that's a strong level because after 4:05, there's no more institutional traders in the market to actually move the market. So after 4:05 or 16:05, the market's kind of just moving on its own based off of really what we do.
Okay, understand. And that's you waiting until like 9:30 until the market actually opens.
Yeah, yeah, the next day, yeah. And then
Okay.
I'll look at that level. So if I don't see anything, any good other trades, I'll
Mhm.
take a trade off of that.
Okay.
And come here, have you been using the anchored VWAP? Did you get it?
So I use VWAP. I don't use Anchor VWAP. And when I
Okay.
spoke with Beast, he said that his trainer has taken him off Anchor VWAP.
Okay.
So he's just, I mean, I just use regular VWAP.
Is it the intraday VWAP?
I don't know that.
Uh, does it look like this right here? Let me pull it up. Does it look like this?
No,
Okay, yeah. This is the
no.
intraday VWAP.
Okay, intraday VWAP. Let me look at that one
Yeah.
then.
Beast in the group, I think he has it that you could download it in the group
Okay, okay. I'll take a look.
because I think it's like $100 or something like that.
For the VWAP?
Yeah, but
Okay.
he has it. He has it in the group for you. In is it what is it? The Slack.
Okay, okay.
What group? We're not a part of that group?
That's the group that we trade with in the morning. The
Oh,
one that's 300 a month.
I'm ready for that group. I just don't have $300.
Say that again. You ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready for that. I mean, but
Oh
I
yeah.
need a discount.
He also said he'll do. I think it's 175 for the first for the rest of this month for any of my students that are interested. Instead of 300, you do like 175 for the rest of the month. See how you like it. If you do, if you don't, but
Thanks.
yeah, I think you'll benefit from it. I mean, I'm in there.
But do you, so okay, so just quick, when you're in that group, are you still paying for these indicators or do they come with the group?
I think the intraday VWAP, I think he gives you that one. But yeah, I mean, Don Chain channel is free. We use that one. That's in here. The only one that did cost money was my anchored VWAP. But I think he gives you the intraday VWAP, and that's all you really need.
Okay,
But he teaches you how to zone your chart, which is another strategy. There's so many strategies. It's just
true.
But yeah, we do good in that group. And it's not just him calling out trades. I'll call out a trade. Dan will call out. They talk about gold trades that happen. If you want to try, some other than NASDAQ. So it's education in there, literally holding your hand. Because I'm trying to get their numbers. I'm trying to get 10, 20,000 a day. All right. So I think that's everybody's going to be here. All right, so we get started. I do have it on the 5th because that day was the news was everywhere. So on the 5th, on US Econo Day, we had a 9:45, 10 o'clock, and a 10:30 news. Um, and then on Forex Factory, we just had a 9 o'clock, which is past that, and we had a crude oil 9:30. So that's why you check both because they don't always have the same thing. On Forest Factory, it looks pretty clear. But then you go to US Econo Day, it's like, no, we're not. We're definitely not that clear. What's about it? Don't cry about it. What you need help with? You're not going to beat the boss that easy. Try again. It's not something you do on the first try.
William, I want to
Yeah, what's
ask,
going on?
am I recording this? Because I send the request.
I'm recording it and putting it in a group.
All right, cool. Because I send
'Cause,
you a request, so I
yeah,
wasn't sure.
anytime more than one person records, it doesn't load right for me.
All right, got you.
All right, but yeah, that was the news. US Econo Day and Forex. As I said, check both of them before you place any trades because they don't always have the same information. All right, and I was trying to pick a day where we could go over retracement, but I think there was no gaps that day, so I can still explain gap retracement though. It's just another strategy that I do trade with the gap or fair value gaps. All right, so
Okay, good.
in the morning I do mark up my charts. Um, I just pre-marked it today. That way you guys don't have to watch it again and again. But I normally start at the daily. So on the daily chart, I mark up my overnight high and the overnight low on the very first candle because that is the daily candle. And I do it right now is at 9:25. So it's good unless something changes before 9:30. So if it goes too low or too high, you have to adjust that low or that overnight high. So I'll mark that up. I'll shrink my chart to see if I see any daily levels. All right. There's a daily level way at the top. I'm not going to mark that. It's a gap right here. You could mark that gap on the daily. Let's see. So hold on one second. Hold on one second, guys. All right, I'm back. Okay, so as I was saying, on the daily, I see a couple gaps up top. So I'll mark those too. And even though the market might not go that high, I still like to mark it when I see them. That way I don't have to try to rush and mark it later. If I see it, I'll go ahead and mark it now
Well,
because it's
what exactly are you marking up there? If it's not the
as a daily gap, because this is a daily chart and I see the daily gap right here.
a fair value gap
Yeah, yeah,
specifically?
yeah. Yeah, fair value
Oh,
gap.
okay, okay.
It's just on the daily chart. That's why I call it a daily gap. So 813 below.
So that's not always like a mark you can do if there's no fair value gap in a day. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. If it's not there, then yeah. But as I say, if you see one up there, even though the mark is way down here, I will still mark it because next week it might be next month before it even gets up there. But if you already have it marked, you don't have to worry about it. It's like, oh, I forgot about that up there. You know what I mean? Like you'll forget about it, and then you might miss a trade. So I like to mark everything I see, especially since the market has been dropping so much lately. There's a lot of levels up top. And remember, when you're marking the bottom of the gap, you want to go from the high of that candle, right? You don't want to go from the open. You want to go from the high, so you're counting the wick as well on the gaps. There's 53.75. All right, so
um
I still mark
hey,
them up, even though the market is far from it. You don't want to wait for the last minute to try to mark that up because that is a daily, and dailies are really strong. And I also mark the daily down here at the bottom because you have to go back, but it is one back here. There's a big daily gap right here. So even though the market still has a ways to go, I marked up all the levels. You have to look left to find some of these levels, right? Because the current market, the lowest it went is down here. So you can look left to see anything that's below that.
are you
And I
looking
mark
for
up.
demands fair value gaps?
Was that?
Are you looking for demands fair value gaps from the below the price over
Yeah,
left?
yeah. I go below wherever the current price is. I look below it. Sometimes you got to go left, and I look above, and I mark them off. I mark all of them off on the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour
And this is all resistance and
support. Because
okay.
the market out of nowhere it could drop drastically. You know what I'm saying? So if you say, "Oh, it's not going to go down there," and you don't mark it, next thing you know, the market's down there, and you're like, "Ah,
Hold
I
on a
knew it was
minute.
a level."
No.
Hey, Will,
Yeah.
when I know when Jerome Powell speaks, like the market will get crazy,
Mhm.
but does that have the same effect when Donald Trump speaks too?
Yes. The only downside with Donald Trump speaking it normally
Stop it,
says
Olive.
it don't have a certain time.
Be done.
You know what I'm saying? Like it don't have a certain time. It'd be like to be determined. So you never know when he's gonna talk. So
Got
that's why you gotta be careful with that. Um, and also you never know what he's gonna say. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Like with
Yeah,
Jerome Powell, they're like, he's gonna go over this. So
right.
you kind of understand what's going on. But yeah, yeah, Trump been speaking every day. And I think that's why the market is going down because he's doing all these tariffs and all this other stuff.
Yeah. So
What
do
But as
can
I
you
say, it still follows the support and resistance though.
okay, got
how
you.
do you how do you know when Trump is when he's speaking because
Oh, it didn't have it on here.
okay, because I was looking.
Right here. President Trump speaks.
Okay, okay,
Right
okay.
here it was at 8:10 p.m. But on
Yeah,
Tuesday, it didn't say 8:10. It
yeah. It
said
said it
tentative.
right, and so you didn't know, and then
You
he
just
came out, and you was like, okay, and it went.
that's why a lot of traders they'll have the news on.
Mm,
They have the news on just in case, like breaking news,
okay, okay.
stereo, this happened. Because like when Putin started decided to shoot those rockets off, I was in the market, and sure enough, the market was like, and we were like, what went down? And we look at the news, it's like Putin fired off some rockets. Like what? But yeah, the news immediately affects the market.
Mr. H,
Yep,
how many time frames are you marking this fair value gap on?
all of them.
Okay.
Yep, daily, 4 hour, and the 1 hour because they're at different. They be at different times. They look different on each one. Like the one down here, it's a daily, and then there's also a 4 hour in the middle of that. So you go to the 4 hour chart. There's a 4 hour one right in the middle, almost in the middle of the daily. See that? See that? This is a 4 hour gap in the middle or inside of a daily. So what would have happened? The market would bounce off of here a couple times, and then if it does dip down, it'll get into it. It'll bounce off of here a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a level within that gap.
Again, that's open wick from wick to open.
Yeah, yeah. You count the wick too.
So the wick and then
It's a wick to wick.
okay, wick to wick.
So this is A. It's A.
Hey, I came in kind of late. I was just wondering, I just want to make sure I know what we're doing. You're just marking the highs and lows on different charts?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I marked the highs and lows already.
Okay.
But yeah, you mark the highs and lows on it. I don't know if you can see that B. There we go. All right. So once again, the gap is this is candlestick A, candle B, candle C. As long as A and C do not touch, that gap is what's in the middle, and you do count the wick on there. Now the my triple threat, you don't count the wick on a triple threat. You count the open. So like you see these you have 4 green, 1, 2, 3, 4 green. I will on a 4 hour, I will mark this one right here, the bottom, as a triple threat because it's 3 or more candles going up, and this is the beginning. So I will mark that one also, and I will turn that one brown for my 4 hour. But the triple threat, you want to mark the open. Do not count the wick. But on the gaps, you count the wick. So in the morning, you'll hear me say something like, if it breaks below this level, there's nothing stopping it. The reason why I know I can tell that there's nothing stopping it is because I will go for a level that there's nothing else down there. So when I go to the 5 minute, you can see on the 5 minute right here, this is the overnight low, this green line. this right here, if I would say if it breaks below the overnight low, there's nothing going to stop it until this yellow level, which is a 1 hour level. So I'm like, if it goes below this, the overnight low, and it closes, the closure of that candle goes below and closes down here, there's nothing stopping it till it gets here. Because I don't see any other levels between this little space. So in the morning when I'm like, if it goes below this and closes, there's nothing stopping it till it get down here. You can literally sell, and that's probably what happened that day. I don't remember, but it's been down the whole week. So it probably shot down here and then finally started bouncing around this area. But I know y'all seen those big moves to the downside that's been happening. But that's how I gauge stuff like that. Because I can see that I looked left and there was no levels that I could find. And this is the 5 minute chart right here. So I actually trade off the 5 minute. But yeah, but the overnight low, overnight high is right here. The very on the daily before 9:30, you can mark that very first candle, the high and the low. Of course, you want to count the wick because that's the highest point and the lowest point of the day so far. And you can also do a Fibonacci. So like you see in between here, there's not a lot of levels because all the levels are below it or above it. It's only just one little 1 hour. You can do a Fibonacci, go to tools, Fibonacci retracement, and you could go from the high to the low. And you can mark off the 50% is 503. It says 503.35. It's hard to get 503. So you just double click 503.35 is the 50% of that Fibonacci, where at least where I marked it off at. But if you want to be more precise, you could get the exact point of where it goes, which is the high is 29.75. You could put this right at 29.75. The low is 79.50. Oops, sometimes it's hard to get there. And now it's 504. So I'll put it at 504.75. So 504.75 is the 50%. You could change the color just, so it's easier to recognize what the line is. I'll make it some bright blue or something.
What's the
So now,
purpose of
what was
the
that?
Fibonacci?
It's just finding the percentage. So I just wanted to look for the 50% mark between the overnight high and the overnight low, mainly because it wasn't a lot, there's not a lot of levels to place a trade in between these two parts. So if there's not a lot of levels in between the high and the low, you can mark off the 50% level and potentially take a trade off of that.
Okay.
It's just other ways to find support and resistance, honestly. Because in the market, if you stare at these charts enough, you'll see levels all up and through here. But as a beginner, these are just easier levels to find.
Is that on all charts?
Is that what?
Is that on all charts?
Well, the 50% of the Fibonacci?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, here's a line right here. So here's a high, here's a low, and I'm on a 5 minute chart. Here's the 50% right here, that blue line.
So if price go at the 50%, if current price goes to that 50% Fibonacci level, does that mean you will place the trade, or would that mean you will enter the trade and go up or down?
I would right now, since the market is below it, when the market opens, if it's still below, I would look for a sell off of this level.
I see.
But remember, I don't like doing resting orders. You can do a resting order if you're only trying to get 50 something dollars. But I like to see when the candle goes to it, what it does. If it goes straight through it, it's like stopping a freight train. But if it goes to the level and it bounces a little bit, then I'm like, okay, I'll take a short because it didn't go straight through it.
So you basically just wait to whatever the candle does to
Yeah, because
determine.
you got to understand it might be news. The candle might not go up there till right at 9:59, and we know it's news at 10. So I'm not going to take the trade at 9:59 because it's like it's news at 10. I'll wait.
Mm. So it's very important to pay attention to the actual price and what the candle's doing in that price.
Yep, the price action, higher highs, higher lows, and reading the candlesticks.
Mm. Okay. Thank
So
you.
it's a lot. There's a lot to trading, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you want to remember those things, keeping in the back of your head, like, okay, it's news at 10 o'clock. So no matter what happens, if it gets near my area to trade and it's 9:59, I'm not taking it because it's too close to 10 o'clock.
Mm.
You know, I used to put stickies on my screen like news, 10 o'clock, just so I know. So that's just another way of finding a level. If you don't see anything good, all right, let's do a 50% Fibonacci. That also works on a gap. When you see a gap, a fair value gap, especially the bigger ones, you can put a Fibonacci on that as well and find the 50% mark of that gap. Because remember, the market is still mathematics. It's still math. Nothing is random, really, except news. News is kind of random. Like right here, you see it's 9:31 and it's bouncing off of it. It's not, look how it bounced off of that. This was the 9:30 open. It didn't already, you didn't already made $50, $50 to $100 off that trade. Because this is the LIS, this orange one. And it's still bouncing. So the LIS is a very strong level.
You said if the price is under that level, you will take a
A
sell,
short. Yep,
a
I would
short.
sell it.
And if it's above the price, you will take a buy.
Yep. And when the market opened right here, 9:30, it went above it a little bit, and then it ultimately got pushed down. Because
So
you are gonna, no matter what, you might take a little bit of heat, but that's a little bit of heat. That's maybe $40, $50. But then it dropped down.
what would be your confirmation entry on this level?
To take that trade, you see
Mhm.
that PP, that's the central pivot. The fact that is a LIS and the central pivot is right there, I would have felt comfortable taking that trade. And you could have took it at the central pivot. You could have took a short right here. But me, I'm gonna jump in right here because I want to make sure I get in that trade.
And then do it matters if you look at the previous candle before and you can see where the candle is like what is that a doji
Well, yeah,
candlestick?
you can look at these two candles are previous, but remember these are before the open. So the New York Stock Exchange isn't even open yet.
And I'm sorry, what time frame? Oh, 5 minute. Okay.
It is a 5 minute chart. So these two candles are London. This is London's market.
It's candle open. Okay.
But yeah, you still could have made money off the pivot pre-market. That trade right here, when it dropped down, you could have made some money off that. Because if you look all the way back till 8:45, it could not close above the central pivot. That's why closures are important. If it like these closed above the central pivot, I wouldn't worry about them. But when I seen 1, 2, 3, 4 couldn't close above that central pivot, I'm like, yeah, I'll take a short.
Okay.
Mr. H,
Because everybody, I could teach you all types of strategies, but I always struggle with, I see the strategy, but how do I know when to trade? That's a key factor of when to trade it. When you see previous candles couldn't close above it, I'm like, all right, I'll take a chance at a short. because I'm only trying to get 50 to 100. I'm not trying to make $1,000 in one trade.
Yeah, and in additional to that, I think my main struggle is, I guess it's not necessarily market structure, but it's actually how to read the market as if the price is moving itself. So I don't know if that's called price action, market structure, or it's so many terminology of
It
what's
really
happening.
is.
I'm like, wait,
But
what?
and that's what I struggled with when I first started learning, because some of the instructors that I paid, they didn't go. They was always show me what already happened. They'd be like, "See how it bounced off this level?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, but how did you know it's going to bounce off that level?" Because
exactly.
hindsight is 2020. I see what happened after the fact, but that's why
Exactly.
in practice, I like for y'all to see. All right, I'm gonna hit play. This is the level. Watch it. And sure enough, it bounced, took a little bit of heat, and went straight down.
Mhm.
I would have took that trade live because I know the LIS is a strong level and my backup is the central pivot. My backup is a central pivot. So I could have either took a trade right here at the LIS. I could have split the LIS and the central pivot and took a trade in the middle between both of them, or I could have just been safe and took one at the central pivot. But that you could have placed three different trades in that little area.
And how do you know where to put a stop loss on something?
Your stop loss is based off of practicing your entry. So the way my entry goes, like I would have took this trade right here at the LIS. So my entry, my stop loss would have been a lot bigger than yours might have been if you would have been like, I'm gonna play it safe and take it at the pivot. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little more risky with my entries, so I'm gonna have a bigger stop loss. And also your stop loss is based on how much cushion you have in that account. Look at the overnight low.
So,
Look
Coach,
how it
why
bounced
aren't
off that.
you? I'm sorry, was someone else
Go ahead.
going? Why aren't you waiting for your three tap before you get into it? I know you can immediately go into it at the list or at pivot. Is it because you're saying you're not looking for a lot? Because that's a lot, right? So if you wait for the three tap, okay, and maybe it's because me and because I would look for this longer one.
Yeah.
I want more. I mean,
Yeah.
because I'm aggressive. So because it's always going to go back and retest, right?
Yeah.
No
Yep.
matter is and you so why wouldn't you just wait for your three tap to get this candle that's going?
Yeah. See, because in the class I'm teaching 50 to 100.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
but me personally, yes, I
okay.
would have waited for those three taps, and I'm going for the big money.
Yeah, okay. I got
Yeah. So this trade right here,
you.
I would have gotten to the trade at the LIS. I would have took the heat because
Right.
I know it's going to go down way further than 50 to $100. As you see,
Yeah.
it did. But you
Mm-hmm.
had to wait. You had to wait from the open. You had to wait 5, 10, 15 minutes. I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind sitting in the trade for 15 minutes.
Okay.
But when you're new, I want you to get your money and get up out of there.
I got you.
Because you'll build that confidence. If you're waiting for big trades and you keep getting smacked, your confidence is gonna go down.
Mm.
I want people that are newer traders, place that trade, get your 50 to 100, be like, cool. All right, I'll look for another trade after that. Don't worry about what you could have made. You locked in 50 to 100. Hey, that's 1,000 to 2,000 a month already if you could do that every day.
Mm. Okay.
So,
But yeah, but people that are more experienced, yeah, I would have stayed in that trade for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the past couple days, if you look at market structure, you can see all this every day, red, 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 a little bit of green, red, green, red. I know it's dropping.
What's the three tap?
The three tap is a strategy that I use where if you see a level that you're interested in, wait for the market to go tap it 3 times. If it doesn't tap it and go through it, I'm taking a trade.
Okay.
And if it's coming down to it, because they call it a falling knife. You don't want to catch a falling knife. So if it's coming down and it's getting close to one of my levels, if it doesn't go straight through it, if it taps that level a couple times, I'm gonna buy it. But if it's coming down like a falling knife and it just taps it one time and then break through it, it didn't do 3 taps, so I didn't take it. I'm safe. But more likely, if it taps 3 times and it don't go through it, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna buy that or sell that.
So, Mr. H,
Mhm.
okay, on this scenario that you got the three green candles. Is that set up for a triple threat?
Not on the 5 minute. No, this is a 5 minute chart.
Right. So,
So
so
yeah,
you
I don't count triple threats on a 5 minute.
okay? You count them on what? Anything above
Yeah,
5 minutes?
1 hour, 4 hour in the daily
Okay.
because they're
Okay.
just stronger.
So what are we doing for a 5 minute chart as
The
far
I
as
only take
weekend?
trades off of the 5 minute. Now, I would use the central pivots on the 5 minute chart because
Hmm.
they're universal on all the charts. They're the same area on all charts. I also would use see how these swing lows.
Hmm.
I would use the swing low on a 5 minute as a confirmation to a level I already have. Because see, when you have a bigger cushion in your account, you could take trades like this right here. You see, this is the overnight low, this green line,
Yeah.
and it's also a 5 minute swing low. If you had a cushion in your account, you could have took that trade. You would have took a lot of dang heat. Oh, you would have took some heat. But look, it ultimately is going up. So the heat, how much heat you take, really depends on how big your account is. So when you see people online making $3,000 on one trade, you don't know how much it went against them before they got that 3,000. Okay, because one of my friends that I follow, V Chip, he makes a lot of money, but he also would tell you he took a $15,000 hit before it turned around. So you looking at him like, oh, he's making a lot of money. He's making 40, 50,000 a day. Yeah, that's because he also went negative 15, 20,000 before it went up 30, 40,000. So the size, the cushion you have really does determine how much money you can make in the market.
So again, if we're trading off the 5 minute chart, you're basically trading off the support and resistance, or the pivots, or the LIS.
Yeah. So I always look for two confirmations. The reason why I would have took this LIS trade is because not far above it was the central pivot. So to me, that's two reasons why I would take that trade. This overnight low, what I would have did since it was going down so fast, I would have waited to see what it did first. And you see, it went down and came back up. I would have took the trade when it came back up and went above the overnight low. I would have bought the market after it came back to it because it was just coming down too fast. I wouldn't have took this trade initially because it was dropping too fast. And I like to see what it does when it get there. It didn't tap it 3 times. It tapped it and was like, I'm going down. So you got to really pay attention to what the candlestick is doing when it gets close to your level that you want to take. That's why I don't normally just do a resting order and just hope it works. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to see a little bit more action. And once again, you see the central pivot. Look how it tapped off of it and dropped down several times. So if all you're trying to do is 50 to 100, you could have got 50 to 100 several times off of that central pivot. But the bigger the trade, the more you're trying to make, you just got to get a little more data before you take a trade.
Okay, one last time.
Mhm.
Basically, you're not trading off of any particular candlestick patterns
No. Not
on the
not
five
necessarily off
minute.
of a pattern.
Okay.
Now I will look at the patterns on a higher scale, like a 1 hour. That's where I will pay attention more to the patterns. Um, as far as the that I have in the course, in the class, I have different pattern structures.
Right.
Structures. I will look at those off the 5 minute more so than I would. I mean, off of 1 hour more than I would a 5 minute. Because the 5 minute is really just where I would place the trade at based off of what I see on the hour or the 4 hour.
Okay.
And the reason why it's color coded is so I don't have to keep switching between charts. I know on here, if I see a yellow line, that's a 1 hour level. If I see a brown line, that's a 4 hour. I don't have to keep swapping back and forth. Because that's what really slows you down. If you have to keep going from chart to chart, you're going to come back, you done missed your trade. Because trading happens You got to be quick. That's why I don't like those the traders that give you signals. Signals are only good if you catch the signal immediately. Because if you see a signal and you wait 10 seconds later, you done missed that trade. People ask me all the time, am I going to do signals? I'm like, no, because you got to be quick draw McGraw to get them signals. But once again, when you see the central pivot and LIS, those are two reasons that will make the market push down. And you see it's struggling to get above either one of them. So those are confirmations or backup to your idea of what's going to push the market down. And once it finally closes above it, not just break above it, but actually closes like a closure above it, then I'm like, okay, I'll look for a trade right here at the central, which is the retracement or the Fibonacci retracement. If it breaks above the LIS and the central pivot and closes, then I will look for a short up here because that's the 50% between the high and the low. But once again, I will look at the time. I'm like, okay, it's 9:45. Was there news? What is happening around that time? So I won't take a trade at the wrong time.
So
And if I'm not
5 minutes,
mistaken,
you're looking for price action.
yep, yep. And right now is on the 5th, it was 9:45 was a PMI final. It doesn't always move the market, but that it's 45. Let me be careful. And it didn't really do much. It pushed the market up and pushed it back down. But always be aware of the news. And we don't have anything else until 10. So you don't want to be in the market a minute before and up to a minute after. And you see, the fact that it's struggling around these two levels, I will feel comfortable taking more than one or two trades off of it. But I wouldn't do too many more. Because every time it goes to that level, it gets weaker and weaker. Every time it goes above it and comes back down, that area is getting weaker every time it taps it. So maybe one or two trades, and then I'm good. And
Would you
since
go short right there
was that?
in that area? Short
Yeah.
off of that area right there?
Yep. Because it only touched it twice. 9:30 it bounced and went down, and then 9:45 it touched it and went down. So it only touched it twice. So I would take two trades. That's one and that's two. A third one, I'm like, I don't know. A third one, I might think about it. But I wouldn't mind taking two. And once again, knowing the different types of days is also important. Like a narrow range trading day. So 9:30 is the open, right? It opened right here at 9:30. A narrow range trading day, test and retest, it closed below it, it closed above it, and now it is about to close below the open again. That is a test and retest because it crossed it and closed three different times. Okay, a test and retest happens. I want to say, I think it's 60%, 60 or 75% of the time. But then you have a narrow range. I mean, what is it? Not narrow range. Trend. A trending day is when the market opens and it just goes in one direction. It doesn't cross it again. It can either go down or up, but it doesn't cross the open anymore. That is a trend. It might be trend to one side or downside. Either way is a trend. But right now, I would say it would be a test and retest because the market opened and it didn't already closed above it and below it at least almost three times. This would make three in one more minute.
Hey, Will,
Yeah.
when speaking on news, do you look at any other markets or any other countries that have, news or anything like that could affect, our market, the New York market?
Well, Forex Factory kind of covers world news.
Mm-hmm.
Forex Factory, Forex, like see, German, French, Italian, Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, we also got to remember when we're trading in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
it's late night in those other countries.
Right, right,
You
right,
know what I'm
right,
saying? So their news ain't really popping like that.
right. Okay. Okay.
Like one, so you see here 2 a.m., 1 a.m. Yeah, you want to pay attention if you're trading around 2 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
Because remember, the market is open 23 hours a day.
Right.
But US.econo is just US.
Okay.
That's
Got
why some of the stuff is a little bit different. Because the world, if you're in another country, you don't care about American jobless claims.
okay.
Because our 830, you if you're in England, you sleep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't really care about our stuff. But yeah,
Got
but they do show you other countries. So for my people that work during the day,
you.
if you
Mm-hmm.
do want to trade at night, Forex Factory is going to have all your news that you need.
Okay.
And as I said, sometimes if I can't sleep, I'll get up and bust a move here and there. Give me a quick little 50, $60 at night. But it's
Yeah, I
so
seen
slow,
that.
you be like, oh Lord, paint dry. Like it moves like molasses at night. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Now around 8 o'clock is Japan. So around 8 o'clock it is a little moving and grooving. And
Mm-hmm.
around 4 in the morning is London open. So it'd be moving pretty nice around 4 o'clock if you do want to trade at night or early mornings.
Okay.
But yeah, I only trade the New York open. All right, here's a prime example. Pause it. Here's a prime example of support turn into resistance, resistance turn into support. Okay, this candle right here, these were still a closure, but it was a little closure below it. This was a big closure below the overnight low. It closed all the way down here. The very next candle, look what happened. It touched it and went down. So what was once support is now resistance. And sure enough, as soon as it closed below it, it came up and pushed it down. So this is an example of when support turns into resistance. And vice versa, resistance can turn into support. Up here, this orange line or the pivot was resistance. If it closed above it, it will be support. And the market will bounce above it now. But this is a good example of it right here. Once the market closed a significant amount below it, it now turned into resistance instead of support. And you already could have made $50 off, 50 to 100 off of that level. But that's why I say you got to be quick draw. You've seen it close. Okay, cool. Let me get this 50 to 100. Boom, I'm good. And it
So
don't have to be 50 to 100 a day. It could be 50 to 100 per trade. You know what I'm saying? So you could do three, four, $500 a day. But if you just try to get 50 to 100, boom, wait another opportunity, 50 to 100, wait another opportunity, 50 to 100. But I just don't want you as a new trader to try to sit into that trade, say, oh, I want to make 500 in one trade. You might not have the account size to do that just yet. Your cushion might not be there. Because no matter how good of a trader you are, if your account don't have cushion, it don't have cushion.
Does every trade come off, like commissions come off of every trade?
Yes, yep. Because commission is based off of contract size, how many contracts you use.
Okay. And another one, when you enter the trade, as I'm looking at current price, you're saying get your 50 to $100 per trade off of this one candle, or do you go off of where to exit out of the levels?
Off of that candle. So if you see that this candle closed below the overnight low, as soon as I seen that closure, I will wait for it to come back up here, and I would probably click sell market instead of putting a resting order. I would do sell market, and I would have this ATM strategy, this little $50 ATM strategy.
Okay.
I literally get 10 ticks, get my $50. All right, I'll wait for another opportunity.
Because how many ticks does each candle move by?
Oh, it's no real set number.
Oh,
Yeah, they can move a lot or a little bit. They got 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. Okay. And then the ATR, how do you determine the ATR of the daily average? Like,
The
because
di-
the daily it moves like a certain
yeah, it moves
assets.
a certain amount of ticks per day.
Uh-huh.
You can't really tell that until the day is over, really.
Okay.
But as I say, at any candle, it like what day was that? It was one day that one candle moved like back here. The reason why we took well, no, it was during the morning. It was this area right here. Like this right here, we know a candlestick, I can't remember what the number is, but on one candle, it only moves so much per candle. So when we see a huge drop, I'm looking for it to retrace so I could take a sell at the retracement. So it's not sometimes on a retracement, it's a little more advanced way of trading, but I don't wait for a certain level. Like this candle right here, when it had that big drop, I once again, you don't know when it's going to come back up, but I wait for the closure. So when this one closed right here, I waited for this one to open, and then I took a trade on this third one or the second one. I took a trade at the bottom of this one. I took a little bit of heat, but it ultimately went down because it was a big drop that day. So knowing the average, once again, is a little more advanced strategy. So I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It's more so watching the candles as they move and knowing when to get in. But it is a certain number that the candle moves. I think it's like 100 points on average per candle.
So you go off of like you go off of each candle.
Yeah,
You determine your trade off of each candle, and then you have your levels to look at because I know like in supply and demand, you have your supply and demand, and they wait for price to get to that demand, and then they place an entry, and then they go
yeah.
back.
They have the
Right.
demand zones. Yes.
Yeah. So
Supply and demand. They only really work if you have a good cushion.
mhm.
Because like I'll show you what like the supply and demand zone. So like my supply and demand zone, one of my zones would be this right here. Is that shift? This whole area would be my supply and demand, would be one of my supply and demand zones. That means anywhere in here, I'm looking for a buy. See what I'm saying? So if you don't have a decent cushion, a supply and demand zone could turn around at any point. I mean, it's a good way of trading. I make plenty of money off of it, but I only trade my accounts that have $3,000-4,000 cushion based off of supply and demand.
I have an issue with my thing is, how do you know when the market is retracing before it decides to go up or down? When is a good time to enter it? Because I know sometimes a retracement can take several candles, or sometimes it's just a few candles. So
Yeah.
what signals to you that, oh, this is a good time to enter because it looks like it's about to, either head up or down?
That's when I would look at the candlestick patterns. I said, let me pull it right here. So on a retracement, that's when I will look at these. These once you like fully understand these, a candlestick tells you so much information, so much information. Like in our group, we'll look at if we see a doji on the 1 minute chart, we're looking for the market to rip a certain direction. So like, and hold on, where is it at? So this is what a doji look like. So if I see a doji on the 1 minute, I'll go to the 5 minute and wait for it to either rip up or rip down. And you have strategy, you have these as well. And as I said, you can use this on any time frame. I more so use it on the higher ones, but if you're looking for a retracement, that's when you would use this on the 5 minute chart. Because like this one right here, I could show you an example in the market where that happened. Do I have that day loaded? Yep, it is right here. This is how accurate that is. That right here. The market was going up, and you literally see three dojis, and it just the ground fell out. That is this right here to a T. The market was going up, three dojis, it goes down. And I was live when I called that out. I was like, it was going up. I was like, that looks familiar. And then I literally pulled up a chart, was like, yeah, all right, that's a bearish TriStar.
Can
So
you
just
put that
being,
in our chat?
huh?
Can you put that chart in our chat so we can have that as a reference?
Yeah, I have it. I have it in the class.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
It's in the class. And there's so many charts like this. You can find ones that have everything on it. What I did, I just learned certain ones. I just learned certain ones that I felt as though were more prevalent.
Hmm.
And it's also an indicator. I'll show you. It's an indicator. Candlestick patterns. It's literally an indicator called candlestick patterns. And oh, you could mark anything you want. It will literally mark up every doji. It'll mark up every bearish harami. Whatever you want to find, it'll mark it up for you.
Now that's good information there.
Wow. Well,
This
yeah,
is
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
What the
yeah,
heck? All right.
yeah. Because I was live one day, and one dude was like, "Oh, those charts don't really help. They're not real. You can't base it off of that." I was like, "Why would they have an indicator if they didn't work?" And literally, I showed this exact example, and I was learning the market when I seen it. I was like, "That looked familiar." And then when I pulled up a chart, I was like, "Oh yeah, the market about to drop." And people was like, "How do you know?" That's how I know.
wow. Oh, this is good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was looking for the ORB in the what were you just looking at? And
Indicators.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't see that.
The ORB.
Yeah, opening range breakout.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Uh, this market flow. I think it's right here. They have prior day overnight, the overnight high, low, and close. Prior day OHLC. Like I marked mine up already, but that's what it looked like. It'll look like this. And if you go, that's why I don't really like that indicator because it gives you the previous day overnight
Right,
high,
right,
low,
right.
close, open.
Mr. H, do you ever go off of the buy and sell indicators?
No.
No. Okay.
What was
And
the
honestly, like the one of
There's
the
a
good
lot of
things with
people that have them. That's why I was asking that question.
okay. Yeah, and that's one of the things like once you learn this stuff right here, that's when YouTube really does like trying to learn how to trade off of YouTube. I don't think that's consistent, but if you already know how to trade, that's when YouTube like I literally Googled a lot of the stuff that I use. Once I learned, I'm like, okay, how do you use the WMA? Like, and YouTube will have amazing videos on specific. If you know what to ask, YouTube will tell you everything. But if you're brand new, don't know anything about the market, don't use YouTube to teach you everything.
Got it.
But if you want to know, like, okay, how do I use a WMA? YouTube works great with that. How do I use swings? YouTube worked perfect with that because you asked a specific question. You know, that like if you don't know how to trade, it's similar to saying, YouTube, how do you fix a car? You're going to get a bunch of videos how to fix a car. But if you say, how do you change a transmission on a 4 liter? They're like, oh, specific. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how YouTube works. Because I see people like, you can learn from YouTube. Not really. It's a certain way.
Okay, thank you. I was just wondering if you ever use those.
Yeah, no, I don't use them. I don't.
Okay.
But yeah, and plus there's so many free ones. Oh man. Like, yeah, go through here and really test a couple of them out and see what you like. Because like I have a WMA on mine. I don't really use it that much, but if I see a level and the WMA just happens to be hanging out around there, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take it.
Well, the candlestick one is very interesting
Oh
because
yeah.
it's specific to exactly what you were showing, like the dojis and stuff. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do enjoy that one. But as I say, I've seen it so much. Like after, like I have an indicator I kicked out like $1,000 for, but I used it so much when I first started trading. I started noticing trades without it even before it even popped up. So I stopped using it because I learned enough from it to where I can eyeball it. So those indicators, they will teach you a lot. And is
Coach,
Andon on here? Because I know me and Andon both bought that indicator that it was like 900 something dollars. But yeah, they can get pricey. But I am the guy that created the bot that I use. He does want me to test out a couple indicators that he has. So I'm gonna test out a couple indicators and see, if he has some real good ones. Of course, I'm gonna try to work a deal to see if I can get like free trial for the students and get some discounts for them if I think they work pretty good. And that way you could try them out and see if you like them.
Coach,
But
for
yeah,
the Doji one, were you doing it just for a specific chart, or will it go across all charts?
it go across all charts.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you could do it across all charts.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. And look, we're still in the market. Isn't it's 10:04 and it's still struggling to close above the central pivot. Look, there's no closure above it yet. Look, it's still closed below it. Still, look, that's a quick 150 to 100 right there because it just couldn't close above it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I only trade for like 30, 40 minutes because I can get enough trades in 30, 40 minutes where I could be done. And this is a big drop. I mean, a big jump. I mean, the market went down and tried to come back and jump up, still couldn't get above it.
Coach, I have a question about the triple threat.
Mhm.
So if you have it on a higher time frame, because I've been looking for the back testing. So say you have one on the hour, how are you using it as far as going forward? So if it's already happened, are you looking for it for the next day? Or I'm not, how is it helping as far as, because I see it goes up. Okay, so I'm not saying this correctly. So if you have a triple threat on an hour, and then I
Right.
look back on the 5 minute and I see that it went up at the close of the last candle, right?
Mhm.
How am I using that as far as trading because that hour is already transpired?
Okay,
Does that make
so
sense?
this right here is the 1 hour chart.
Right. So
My triple
yes,
threat
okay.
is right here. So are you saying after the 5 minute has already touched the triple threat?
No, okay, so you mark it right there. So how are you trading that on the 5 hour? So now go to the 5 minute chart. I don't know what time it is. That's 12 o'clock.
This is 1 hour. So the 5 minute is right
Hmm.
here. See, it was way back here. So it's current day. So the market hasn't came down to it yet. But what I would do if the market came
Okay.
down to it, I will wait to see if the market taps it and goes back up. And this is one of the reasons I would use that three tap strategy. If it taps it 3 times, I would buy. But if it taps it once and then breaks through it, I will look for a trade at the central because even though this is the 1 hour
Hmm.
triple threat, is also backed by a S1 pivot. So I will either take the trade here. If I get smacked out, I'll take the trade halfway or right at the S1.
Okay, I think I just had it labeled wrong. You now go back to the 1 hour really quick. So you're labeling it at the close of the first
Oh,
candle,
the
right?
open, the open.
Open. Okay,
Yeah,
I
because
have it
green
at the
opens at
wrong
the
place.
bottom.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
That's what I was doing
And
it
now
wrong.
once it opens, remember, it's not set in stone until a candle closes the opposite color. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and
Hmm.
the fifth candle closed red. Once that
Okay.
closed red, then I mark this up.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because
So I just have.
it could be red, it could come all the way down, go straight through it, and then go all the way back up and close green. It's still a
Hmm.
good level. Because even though it
Okay.
went through it, it closed green, so it don't count.
Got it. Okay. I just had it. I had it marked wrong, and I was like, "What?" Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no problem at all. And this is a more recent one. Red is the open at the top. It opens, and I see 3. And now this one right here, I marked it, but it's not set in stone until this one right here closes at a different color. I have it marked, but I know that I still have 51 minutes before I can count this in stone.
Okay.
As I say, it might come up here, go above it, and then eventually, before the hour is over, it might close red. So that's still a valid level.
Now, when do you once it hits the levels on the 5 minute, you get rid of it?
Yeah. If
It's
it hits a
done. It's
level
a done deal.
and closes above it, like so, this level right here, if this is an active triple threat,
Mm-hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
the market comes up and closes above it, it closes, then I get rid of it. But if it
Okay.
hits it and bounces down, I'll keep that level on there just in case it comes back and bounce again.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing is used up until it closes.
Okay.
Hey, well, if it goes above that level, that would be support, right?
Yeah. If it closes right now is resistance, but if it closes above it and comes back down, is now support. Is going to no, 9 times more than likely is going to support it to push it back up. Nothing is 100%, but more than likely it will bounce off of it
But you wouldn't keep that level as a support level at that time, right?
for that day. I'll leave it
For
there for
that
the
day.
day, but once that day is over, yeah, I get rid of it.
Okay, got you. Okay.
But right now, the market's still struggling to get past the central pivot, even with the 10 o'clock news.
Mr. H, just to clarify something real quick before you
Mhm.
move on. So the previous high and the previous low of the day, the daily time frame, when you mark those two levels, and then you go down to the 1 minute or the 5 minute time frame, and then you have all those, basically all those trades within the day. So at the end of the day, before the end of the trading day, you should find at least, or the market should go at least at the top of the high level of the day, or the low of the level of the day. Does that make sense?
You said the market should go through them.
So the current price, and on a 5 minute time frame,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, should price already pass that daily level at the high, or the daily level at the low?
Not all the time. Sometimes it could be a narrow range trading day to where the market never goes above the high or below the low.
Mm.
There's time where the market will stay in between this. It's called a narrow range trading day. The reason why we like narrow range trading days is because I know I can look at the chart and see this is the highest it normally goes. I can sell when it goes up there, and I can buy when it goes down below. So I can stay within that range and buy and sell all day if I wanted to.
Is that
But
included with the pre-market the
well,
pre-market
pre-market, I don't lock in the overnight high and low on the pre-market because it's not set in stone yet until the market opens.
mm,
So if you mark the high and the low on the daily and it's not 9:30 yet, it's not set in stone yet because the market could drop far down or it could go above it and you have to adjust it before 9:30.
okay.
So yeah, the overnight high and overnight low, it only locks in once that 9:30 candle opens up.
Okay.
But that's why I also
All
mark
right,
the
Miss.
50% between the two.
All right, Mr. H, could you demonstrate how that indicator work on the candlestick pattern is?
Oh yeah. Oh, where is that? Indicators. So I like dojis because they happen a lot. You can put a doji on there. Okay. And see, it marked up a doji. It marks up all your dojis. So this is a doji, but the market was only going down one candle. But I don't know what happened out here. As you see, it did go up. So that doji indicated that it went up a little bit, could have made some money, but then it still went down ultimately. But it just marks up the dojis. So once again, indicators are just that, they just indicate an opportunity. So like this doji right here, the market was going down. It said, okay, here's a doji. Look what happened. The market went up. You know what I'm saying? The market was going down, doji, it goes up.
All right,
But
would you
once again, the pattern is only works if the market was going in one direction, then the doji popped up. But if the market's going down, or if the market's not going down, it was only like one candle going down, and then a doji is not as strong. But if you got two, three, four candles going in one direction, then you see a doji, it might be one or two candles after the doji, but it's just an indicator that it's going to be a change of direction.
So if the doji shows up on the first one, and if there's another doji, would it tell you that there's two dojis there and three dojis there?
Yeah, it'll probably mark both. More than likely, it will mark both of them.
Okay.
But
could you
remember, indicators are just that, they just indicate what could happen.
right, right. Could you give me another example other than a doji?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, let me see. Hammer. I like hammers. All right, so here's a hammer. So this is a hammer. It's not quite a doji. It looks literally like a hammer. There's a long wick and up top. That lets you know that there's a lot of liquidity down below. So where's that chart at again? All right, so where's the hammers at? Right here. Hammers literally tell you direction. If the market's going down and you see a hammer like this, that means it's going to most likely go up. If the market's going up and you see a red hammer, usually indicates the market's going to go down. Where's it at? There's another one. A morning star. It's so many different patterns. You got inverted hammers. You know what I'm saying? So like, just understanding what you're looking at. You know, there's a lot to it. Look at all these different patterns, and that literally has just about all these patterns in there, and it will mark up the chart when those patterns happen. And you have to look at here so you know how to move when you see it.
What would be the most common one for besides the doji? What would be the common one?
Um, it's not really any. It just depends on the market. There's really not more common. Doji is the main one that I find common because I practiced it so many times. I know when I see it, I know how to act when I see it. Um, so what I did, I just picked like three different ones and I just looked for those. And I just looked when I first started trading, I would just look for those three in the market because trying to learn all of them, you'll go crazy. So my thing was dojis, hammers, and I think it was Morningstar. I don't really do it as much now, but that's the most ones that I looked at. Where's Morningstar at? There's Morningstar right there. Morningstar. because I was more biased to going long. So a morning star is when you see the market going down, and then you see not a doji, but you see the smaller green and then another green. After this green, after you see these two, look for the market to continue up.
Mm.
It's called a morning star. So morning star example. Where's the morning star at? Okay, like this right here. See, it's going down. It's going down. There's the morning star setup right there. See grid going down. Let me see a little bit. See the red going down. See these two little ones right next to it, and then that very next one, the market started going up after that. This is a 5 minute chart, so it happens within 5 minutes of that happening. The market went up. So when you see it going down, you see that setup. I'll look for an area to buy the market. You can buy the market anywhere in here within this candle. They also call it some people call it mother bar, inside bar. I don't really use that. Is literally a morning star. So, but also with the morning star, you could place a trade anywhere within this candle. You could buy anywhere within this candle. It could be a buy at the bottom of it. It could be a buy at the top. If you would have took the buy at the top, you would have been waiting for this one. You would have bought it right here, and it would have went up. So that's just an example of a morning star.
Where would you put a stop loss in that specific trade?
My stop losses are always 40, negative 40.
Negative 40, okay.
But that's because I practiced my entry so many times. I noticed when I take a trade, the chance of it going negative 40 before it get me my money is kind of slim. So that's why I have mine at 40. Yours might be lower than that. Yours might be 35. But I just noticed when I practice, 40 is that area that I normally get my money before it goes 40. And the way you find that is you set an ATM strategy for negative 40, but you don't set a target. And I would just take a trade and just see how far it goes before it knocks me out. So if I take a trade with no target and I take 10 good trades and I noticed it will go $200 before it decided to come around and knock me out at negative 40, then I will keep it at negative 40 because I know 9 times out of 10, I'm going to make at least 200 before it knocks me out based on my educated trade.
I see.
So I'll take 10 trades with no target and I will write down how far it went up or down, but how much money it made me before it turned around and knocked me out at negative 40. And if I see out of 10 trades, I got $200, 9, 8, even 7 times out of 10, then I will keep my stop loss at 40. But if I took 10 trades and it knocked me out 5 times out of 10, I'm gonna adjust that negative 40 or lower my target a little bit. Like if my target was $50 before it knocked me out, then I'm gonna put my target at $50. Give me $50, stop loss at 40. But that's how you find your average.
And the stop loss of 40, that's what 200, right?
Yeah, it's 200. So my risk is 200 to 250 on a 25K account. Because your stop loss also depends on what account you're using too. 40 tick stop loss, I don't have that on a $150,000 trade account.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because it's 150K. I have at least, what is it, $6,000 before I can lose that account. So my stop loss on 150 might be 65 ticks. You know what I mean? It might be a little bit bigger.
So for the 50,000, you would double it instead of 40, you would have 80, or
no, on a 50,000, I'll probably put 45 to 50. Not because remember, even though it's a 50K account, you still only have $3,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So $3,000, you put a stop loss at 300. That's a good percentage of that 3,000. So on a 50K account, I would put mine no more than 30 tick, $300. You know what I'm saying? Because on a 50K account, I'm willing to risk $600 on a 50K account. So I could take that tells me I could take 2 trades. If my first trade lost, I might do one more, but if that one loses, I'm negative $600. I'm done for the day.
Yeah, that's what I do, and I use instead of one contract, I use two though. Is that too risky?
It's up to you. Based on your experience, I can trade 2 contracts on a 50K and be just fine. But
Yeah,
some people can't stop at that loss. If I lose 600, I have no problem stopping because
right.
I got 16 PAs and probably about 8 or 9 evals. So if I lose 300 on one account, all right, you can sit down, come sit next to coach. I got a couple other accounts I can play with.
Right. Yeah,
You
because
know,
eight ticks is nothing with the 2 contracts. It's
yeah,
like
it's really
bam,
not.
you in there, so that's that $100, right? That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm saying it's all based on. I can't give you a set amount. It's all based on how you trade, right?
Right,
I trade different than you do. So
right.
if you know you could get 2 contracts, if you're only trying to get $50, 2 contracts is only 5 ticks.
Yeah, that's 5 ticks, is it? Yeah.
Well, 2 contracts. You know how easy 5 ticks is to get?
Yeah.
If you can get 5 ticks, boom, 50, done.
Remember Friday, I was done like 10 seconds, remember?
Yeah, yeah. And you did that on 15 accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's all based on your strategy. You know, if you feel confident that, hey, I can get 10 ticks every time without losing no more than 30, without it going against me no more than 30. All right, well, do 2 contracts then. Because those 10 ticks is no longer $50. That's now $100.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's all about confidence. If you know you could get in that market with 2 contracts and you're gonna get 10 ticks every time, cool. You knocking out 100. That's 2,000 a month on one account.
Yeah, hey, for real. You seen my what's name? That's all I've been
It's,
doing.
it's all about consistency. I don't want y'all to try to see how much you can get. Just try to how much can you get consistently. I
Right.
don't care if the dude over here or the lady over here did 10,000 today. How consistent are you getting that 10,000? Can you do that every day? Because I know people that make 1,000 per trade, or 1,001 trade, but then the next 3 trades they lost 400. So what was the purpose of making that 1,000 if you lost 400 in a row 5 times?
Right.
You didn't gave all that money right back. But somebody like me doing 200 every trade, I'm gonna end the week with more money than that person that did 1,000 in one trade because they're not consistent. They got lucky or they did a good trade, got 1,000. But
Right.
okay, how much you make the next trade? Oh, you lost 250 the next one and the next one. So you ended the week with $400 out of that 1,000 that you made.
Right.
What was the
You
purpose of
know what?
that?
That's the crazy part because, like you said, I've been consistent and I'm still nervous that it's like, it feel like I'm still getting lucky, but I've been consistent.
That's the more you practice, the more you'll be comfortable. I want you to get comfortable with taking those trades. See a trade based off your
Take a trade.
education. You see a
Yeah.
trade, you take a trade. Win, lose, or draw, you only lose the ones you don't take at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's the whole purpose of an evaluation. You're evaluating how good of a trader you are. You don't, I'm not going to say don't baby an evaluation because you don't want to just be blowing money. But if you take an educated trade, you'll feel more confident taking that trade. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to take the trade because that's how I realized, hey, this level works really good because I took it every time I seen it and I made more money than I lost.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to avoid loss.
Yeah. 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 They come. They come
Loss
as
is
how
going to
you.
happen. You just don't
Yeah.
want to lose more than you make. That's the goal. The goal is not avoiding the loss. You just don't want to lose more than you make. That's why you have a limit. My limit on my 50Ks is 600. Once I go negative 600, Will is done.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna sit that thing to the side. Wait, we got Monday, we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I could get that 600 back, just not today.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like being greedy, I done lost PAs being greedy.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
told you about that day. I lost 6 PAs in one day. Oh, I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But you live and you learn. I was being greedy. I was trying to get that money back. Once you tell yourself, I'm gonna get it back, you done already lost.
Yeah.
You don't even try it. You just close your laptop and go watch TV or something. But you'll notice if you set a loss limit, once you hit that loss limit, stop. Because you'll keep trading. Next thing you know, hey, I blew an eval. Yeah, because you kept trading. You know, go the next day, go another account, and then once have a target. Don't just keep trading, trading, and trading. Once you hit that $100, 200, whatever your target is, because you know what your consistency is. Okay. If you practice and you know I can get 150 9 times out of 10, why are you trying to get 350? Why are you trying to get 350 on a trade? When you know practicing,
Agreed.
you got 150 9 times out of 10. All right, get that 150, look for another trade. Don't try to
Yeah.
make more than 150 on that trade because you know in practice, your butt only did 150 consistent.
Right.
Why are you trying to
I,
break your own rule?
I told you it was once I hit that one PA, I turn it off and go straight to the sim because I still be wanting to trade.
Yeah, if
Mm-hmm.
you just got a trade, what I used to do or what I still do, I'll have one 250 or one $300,000 trade account, and if I just gotta place a crazy trade, I'll do 5 6 contracts on that one. I'll
Okay.
do 10
Okay.
contracts on the 300K just because I had to get it out my system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm paying per month for that crazy account, but guess what? It's saving me from doing that on my 50s or my 150s.
Right.
Because you sometimes you gotta scratch that itch. You're like, man, I'm gonna do 10 contracts, see what happened. Go
Right.
ahead and do that on that 300K account. And you
Have you
might
have
get
you reached
lucky and get it passed.
have you reached 20 PAs yet, or are you still
No, I'm
working
at,
on?
I'm
I
at
know you.
16 and I got two of them that's passed that I haven't traded yet.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
at 18. I just haven't touched them yet.
Right. And you
Because
say
I'm now
and you're
working
gonna
on my
start
Bullen ox
rotating.
ones.
You're gonna start rotating the little ones out eventually with the 150 and 300s, right?
Yeah. Once I get all 20, now I have a couple, I have three 150s and I have one or two 250s. So once I get those approved, it'll put me at 20.
Right.
After that, I'll start getting the 250s and 300s. And then I'm going to start liquidating the 25s and the 50s.
Okay. Okay.
Because I
Okay.
want to have all 250, 300K accounts. Because then I could throw Hail Marys and not feel bad.
Right. Right.
But that's how you make more money down the road. You got to be patient, okay? At the end of the day, it's about consistency. You got to be patient, find out what your consistency level is, because a lot of you are over trading. A lot of y'all want to get that five, six, 700, $800 on one trade. What's wrong with taking three $200 trades? You know what I mean? You don't have to get 600 in one trade. You know,
It
because sometimes
feels so good, though, Will. It feels so good, Coach. I can't even explain it.
It does. It does. But you know what feels better? When you go to Apex and say, hey, let me get 2,000 out of that account. Let me get 1,000 out of that one. And I'll take 500 out of that one.
I
Go and
know
get it to
that's
me.
right. Let me ask you, okay, because I'm up on my PA that I still have, thank God. And so I want to just do like you're saying, like the 200. So on my 100, on my ATM 100 strategy, just to make sure I have it clear, I have my stop loss is 30 and my profit 20. So that makes it for the ticks 30 ticks, right?
Uh,
Is that what you're
10 ticks
saying?
is $50. So that's what
Oh,
150.
so that's wait a minute. Okay. I have it in ticks, but my stop loss is 30 and my profit is 20
So
on
that's
but it's
250, right?
okay, so
250.
I got it wrong then because I have it listed as ATM 100. That's not
Well,
right,
your
right?
target is 20. So that's $100.
For my profit is 20. That's 100 because that's
Yeah, that's 100.
two.
Yeah, 20 is
That's
100.
two. Wait. Okay, I'm confused a little bit.
You just do 5 times 30
Okay.
is 150.
Okay, I can. Okay, so
It just
it's
times it by
like
5.
okay, about five. So that would give me 100, and I usually do two contracts, so that's 200, and I could be
Yeah, that's
good for
200.
the
Yeah.
day. Okay,
Your stop loss close.
that's too. That's too much.
No,
30.
no. If that's if you take 10 trades and nine out at least 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 trades are
Mm-hmm.
winners, then keep it.
Okay.
Because that's just your trading. That's your trading numbers. If
When you're
30
saying
if 30 is good and it works, then stick with it. Don't mess around. Don't mess with it.
when you're saying close, so if it goes in the other direction, it's gonna cut me off
Yeah,
quick,
at
right?
150.
Okay. All right. I'll
So
just
so
test.
if your daily limit, if the most amount you're willing to lose is $300, that's perfect because that gives you opportunity to take 2 trades. If you lose 2 trades, you're done. That's $300 done.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
All
there's,
right.
there's nothing wrong with keeping it close. Or if you do 2 contracts, that's one bad trade. That's 300. You're done.
Yeah, because I like to just I like to do one trade, get it, because if I keep chasing it, it turns into chaos.
Yeah, but if
Um.
that's what you practice with and you notice you get 20 ticks before you lose 30, then stay
Mm-hmm.
with that setup. Just stay with that
Okay.
ATM strategy.
Okay.
Because the way I trade is this trail right here. This trail is I love this trail setup. This right here, my stop loss is 40. I have no profit, but my profit trigger once I get 25 ticks into profit, which is what $125, it automatically moves to plus 10, which is $50. So if the market goes against me, I'm gonna lock in $50 no matter what. But if it continues going up, I can manually move my stop loss and just follow behind it.
Do
So
that.
this
Go
ATM
through that
strategy, when you
again.
take a trade, once that market goes 25 ticks into profit, which is with one contract, is $125, your stop loss is going to go from negative 40 to $50. So if the market keep going up, you can manually move it up or just leave it at 50 to see how far it goes and just hit close.
But you don't have a target
No,
initially.
I have no target. Nope. So if it start going up and it decides to say, you know what, to the moon, I'm gonna get all of it.
That's what I
But
was going to ask you because I was wondering if you change your ATM strategy if the market's either going straight up or straight down, to where, if you have it set for 50 or 100 and then it just stops you out 100 at a time. I was trying to figure out how could you just leave it to where it just keeps going up and up and up, but it looks like that's the one that's
utilize your stop strategies. It's
okay.
called stop strategy. If you don't want to limit yourself to let me get 50 and get, remember, as intro to day trading, intro is just when you first start off. A lot of you guys been here for more than a month. You're no longer beginners. So that's why we have this session to show you other ways that I don't have in the course. So now if you feel like, look, I'm comfortable getting 50 to 100, then cool, just set your ATM strategy 50 to 100 and just do that until you get a payout. But if you feel as though, hey, I think I could do a little bit different, that's why I have these ATM strategies, no target, but have your auto break even and your stop loss set up. That way it'll automatically lock in profit for you. But this
Perfect.
strategy right here, as
Can
soon
I
as you
take a
make
screenshot of this?
$125, it's going to move up and lock in $50.
Can I take a screenshot of that?
Of course.
Okay. Um, and the other one, can you move that out of the way? There you
Yeah.
go.
And for those of you that do 2 contracts, just change order quantity to 2, and you can change this to 2. So just 40 stop loss or 35 stop loss, whatever is your level. Profit is 0, and then the stop strategy.
So the only thing we would change with the 2 contracts, right? But keep everything the same.
Yeah. So if you want to do 2 contracts, right? This is going to change to 2. Or now it's more advanced. You can hit add, right? You can keep this one at 1 and this one at 1. You can keep them both at 40 if you want to. You can keep the profit the same, but you can adjust this part. You can adjust this. I'm going to take this step. I don't want to confuse you. So the first one, once you make 25 ticks and moves to 10, you can have this as a runner and put this at 35 ticks. You want it to move to 15. What did I say it is? 20, 35, and 15. And now this one, now you have 2 of them, right? So the first one is going to jump up. As soon as the market gets 25 ticks in the profit, it's going to automatically move to $50. You got 50 locked in. If the market continues up and goes all the way up to 35 ticks in the profit, you got this one that's going to jump up to $75. So you got $50 and $75 locked in no matter what. And if the market continues going up, you can manually move that red flag up or down, depending on which direction you're trading. So that's if you want to do 2 contracts and separate them. That way they move at different times.
Okay, so go over that one more time. You have 2 contracts. The first target, you doing
25 and 10.
Okay, hold on.
Meaning once the market goes 25 ticks into the direction you took the trade, your stop loss is going to automatically move up 10 ticks to the to $50. So no matter what happens, you're going to get if the market goes to 25 and comes against you, you made $50 no matter what.
Okay, and then how come mine is not saving when I go there?
You got to go save template and type the name in.
Okay, and then you have auto trail none, right?
Yes, because auto trail is when it automatically keeps following it.
Oh, okay.
The problem with that is a lot of times the market starts moving, it will follow and it'll start following too close and it'll knock you out early. So I like to manually move it up a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Because when I do have some auto trails, those are the ones where I'm just trying to get some money and just let it go cha-ching, cha-ching, get me out. I don't care if it get me out at 200, 600. I just try to get out. I do an auto trail with when I place a trade and I walk off. So I'll place a trade and I'll go go watch TV or something like that. or if I trade at night, I practice at night. So I'll place a resting order and I'll put an auto trail just in case it gets me in a resting order while I'm asleep and it starts moving. It'll trail behind it really close to get as much money as I can. So you guys
so
start practicing that too.
All right, let me try that too. Okay. 35 and 15. So
you got it?
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, auto trail, we could do a class. I'll do a video on auto trail.
Okay.
But auto trail is fun. So like, since if you're multitasking, you could take a trade, have an auto trail set. You could take a trade and you could go watch this, do this, whatever you like doing. And when it gets into that trade, it'll move down. The stop loss will move and follow by itself without you having to move it or anything.
Mr. H, I forgot that level's called, the orange level. It's a 4 or 5.
LIS.
LIS. I don't know if you can do like if you can explain it, but I guess my brain didn't get it. But or you can make a tutorial video on how to set that level up, or put it in
the LIS.
Chat.
Yeah. I can set it up to remind you. But LIS is nothing but just go to the day before. Only Tuesday, go to Monday. If it's Monday, don't go to Friday because you had a whole weekend. The market didn't do whatever it got to do. But Tuesday, go to Monday. Wednesday, you just go to the day before. All you do is go to the 1605 candle. So the market went up, it closed right here. So I just put a line at where it closes. 1605 close. You put a line. So yeah, that's all I do. I go to 1605 the previous day. I put a candle
Oh,
there, line there.
Do you remove
you
those
set that up.
daily?
You set that up. Do you
Good.
set that up every day or
Well,
every
I
other
have an
day?
old indicator. I have an
Do you
old
set that
strategy
every
that
day?
or indicator that popped up. Hold on. I have an indicator. I don't know where I got this indicator from. Uh, it's called open price. It's set right here. I'm gonna see if I could get this and send it, I guess. If I have it set for 1605, so it automatically puts it there. I don't know if I could get this and download it, I guess. But yeah, you could just go to 1605 and put a line there. Right click, you go to drawing tools and put a horizontal line and just make the color whatever you want it.
Do you remove them after the day or you leave them there?
Yeah, you should remove it. I don't normally remove it because mine stops at 1605 the next day. So mine doesn't extend the whole way through. Like this, the one from the previous day, it stops. And then another one down here starts. But yeah, you should delete it every day though. Because as you see, look, the market's been getting whooped up by that orange level. It can't really close above it all day so far. And it's 10:44 in the morning. It just can't get above it. Like this is the highest it got. And it almost got to the 50%. This is what you call a nail range test and retest. Because you can see the highest it went, you can see the lowest it went. And the market just ranged between there. It's just been ranging. Go ahead. And this was that this is Wednesday. What did I do Wednesday? Let me see. What day was that? I'm trying to see if I can find what I did that day. That was Friday. Oh, we in February. We need to go down to March. All right, March 5th. What did I do that day? Okay, oh yeah, I had a good day that day. But yeah, this was March 5th right here. So that's what I did March 5th. This 54 was an eval. Okay. These first two were evals. But yeah, that was this day that we're looking at now. And that's how I did it that day. I just kept making money off of this little LIS and pivot. I took several trades off of this. And then also in the group that I'm in, I probably took a trade off of something that John might have called. But yeah, that's basically how it works. I mean, you just have to see what it does around that area. Don't just have a resting order or just jump in because it's an area. You know what I'm saying? See what the candle does when it's going to it. Because if it's moving fast, you don't want to take a sell just because it's a level. Like that's like we call it stopping a freight train. If the market is moving up fast, like hold up, let's see what it does when it get there. See if it bounces a little bit, then you want to take the trade. But if it's moving too fast, you're gonna put a level there and it's gonna smack straight through it. So anybody have any other questions? Because it is 1:47 now.
I have a quick question, Coach.
Mhm.
So I was using the Replicanto for my Bullinox. It didn't pick them up, but I was in an active trade and I couldn't get out. So if I'm having trouble with this, who can I contact? Because it was weird. Because I tried
You
to,
was in an active trade, but it wasn't on the copier.
yeah, it wasn't on the copier, it wasn't moving. But when I tried to like exit out of Ninja, it says you have an active trade.
Did you right click here and go to flatten everything or cancel all?
Oh no, tell me. Okay, let's do that again. What are you
Oh, right
doing?
click on what is it, the chart trader. Right click on
Okay.
chart trader and go to cancel all orders or
No, I
flatten
didn't do
everything.
that. Thank
Yep.
you. That's what I needed. Okay, thank you.
You can also go to positions and close
Mm-hmm.
positions.
Okay, let me see. Okay, and then we'll have them all listed.
Yeah, to have everything that's open.
Do I have to do
That's
it
currently.
individually? Would I have to click on each one individually because I
Yeah,
have
you
two
have to
bullet?
click on each one, right click and see close position,
Okay,
flatten everything. You can
okay. I
apply
didn't know you
ATM
could,
strategies, whatever.
but cancel all orders. It was should get me out. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because that happens. Sometimes I've lost
Yeah,
accounts because it got frozen. I was like, what do I do?
right. So I was panicking because it was like nothing was going on, and it's like, well, it's not moving, right? And I'm having it, and then I was like, when I went out and came back in, I was negative. It's like, well, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, and that's also why I have multiple screens because I'll have Tradeovate and I have Rhythmic open also. So if for whatever reason right clicking doesn't work or
mhm,
clicking on here doesn't work, you could go to Rhythmic and Tradeovate and close it there too.
you can
Yeah,
show that.
Oh,
Where is that?
I'll pull it.
sure.
Tradeovate. My my Ninja Trails, mine is. Well, I can't show it because it's
Oh,
um it's in
oh, but are you
sim.
going in here and this is that blue screen
But
that comes
I
in?
do I did a video. I'll do a video.
Okay.
I'll do a video for it. But
And
yeah, you can log into Tradeovate and you can close it there too. People always say, why do you have multiple screens? One of my screens is literally just have Rhythmic open and Tradeovate open. Just in case
okay,
it don't work, I can just slide right up there and close it on there.
where is it under Tradeovate? Because I only just go into your dashboard. Are you saying in that when you log in there?
Yeah,
No,
you
I'm
actually
thinking.
log into tradeovate.com.
Okay.
Let's
All
see where
right.
it's at.
Cool. I needed
Tradeovate.
that.
I have a quick question before you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, how many how many accounts can you trade up to in a copier trader? Is there a limit to that?
Ooh, since it's a third party app, the most I've done was 10.
Mm.
The most I've done was 10, but I'm pretty sure you could do more. I mean, that's what it's built for. I just
I
never
done.
did more than
I'm
10.
doing 15.
Oh, yeah, see, he doing 15.
Dang. 15. Is that with the one that you have, or is that the one that a Ninja Trader has?
That's the one with Replicano or
Okay.
Flowbots.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. H, I know yesterday I bought a whole bunch of contracts for Bullinox
Hmm.
at the discounted price. I went there today and it's no longer available. Do you know when the sales come on for Apex or Bullinox or what have you? Do they?
They usually tell me like a day before.
Okay. Is it something where you could maybe just put that in the group to where we know so we
When the
could
next
just
one is coming up,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I could definitely do that.
Yeah, because I was trying to find them and I couldn't find any discounts anywhere to buy.
Right now, on Bullinox, you could type Mr. H Trades 83 and you'll get an 83% discount.
Oh, 83. Okay, so I was using the 91.
Yeah, instead of 91, just type in 83 because I
Okay.
think that discount is till the 13th.
Okay.
On Trade of 8, here it is. On Trade of 8, if you open Trade of 8, you go to risk settings and you could put a daily loss limit, weekly loss, daily profit trigger, weekly profit. You can put it in there as well. So you can set limits on all your accounts.
Oh,
See, I got a
cool.
bunch of accounts.
Yeah. And so where do you stop it? Like if it's
I was trying to
not,
find.
I haven't had trouble with
I think it has to be in a trade to pull up
oh, okay. I
or to
haven't
stop
had
it. Yeah,
trouble
because
with
there's no trade going on, so the option not
Apex.
popping up.
It's just the Bullocks were freezing up in the Replicano for
Oh,
some
you was
reason.
running in Replicano and they froze up.
Right. Yeah. So I had
Yeah.
like my trade of eight, as my lead, and then I was just doing my two evals.
Yeah,
But
normally if it's Replicano that's freezing up, you can go to
uh
cancel all orders
okay.
because Ninja Trader's not messing up. It was Replicano messing up.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
if Ninja Trader is messing up, that's when you want to have Trade of 8 or Rhythmic open.
well,
Bullinox is Rhythmic.
I don't know. Like I said, so I had it in Replicano. It wasn't in picking it up in Replicano. Then I couldn't close it in Ninja Trader. So maybe it wasn't in, I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
it
just
happens. You got to
odd.
try all of them.
Yeah, I just wanted to shut it all down, basically.
Yeah,
So I'll just go to, like you said, Trade of Eight and Bullinox next time. I'll have it open, and then
yeah.
I
Just
can just
have them open.
have it open so I can close it because it was weird. Because it didn't happen all the time because I came back in later, and did it right. So I don't know what
Yeah,
was,
yeah. It
they
never
don't.
happened on my Trade of 8, but it's happened with Rhythmic before.
Yeah. So yeah, it didn't happen on my PAs, just my Apex or PAs, just Bullinox was
Yeah,
squirrely.
because it's
And
Rhythmic. Because Rhythmic.
oh, okay. Okay, well I just start trading
That's why I
those.
switched from Rhythmic Apex to Trade of 8. But now
Okay.
Bullinox was like, "Hey, we allow 11 accounts, but we only use Rhythmic." I'm like, all right, whatever. Let's go."
Yeah, so I'll keep some Bullinox, but I think I'll just mainly go with uh what's face. And
Yeah, and I'm mostly Trade of 8. It's just when you got 11 accounts with Bullinox, it's like, why not?
yeah, yeah.
And
And they
if it's a rhythmic issue that is reported, they'll give you your money back.
how would you know? Because they always say, well, so far when I've
Apex or
complained.
Bullinox will do it for you because
Oh,
it's
okay.
messing with their money.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, trust
All
me.
right.
If it's site wide rhythmic issue, you
Mm-hmm.
got Apex, you got Bullinox, you have a lot of prop firms that use rhythmic, and they will make sure it's taken care of. Because
Okay,
it's
because
been a couple times where I traded, I didn't have an issue on my end, but I lost money. Not only did they reset the ones that lost money, but the ones that made money, they left them alone and let me keep the money that I made off of that glitch.
yeah. Okay. So it's either that or just use my strategies. But like you said, I like to do it one stop and keep it moving. It
Yeah,
works. Okay. All right. Thank you.
no
I'll
problem
do
at
that.
all.
Hey, Will, how much is Replicano with your discount?
The discount's 20%. So I want to say it's 199 total.
Okay,
So it's $40 discount on that.
okay. And also, I made a boo-boo on my bot settings.
Oh no.
Yeah, can you help me?
Well, we gotta do a Zoom later on anyway, with the
Okay.
DBA stuff.
All right. What time you good with that? Or you
Maybe
gonna send me a
anytime
text?
after 3. It's 2 o'clock now. So yeah, after 3 o'clock.
All right. You gonna
'Cause
send me
I'll
a
probably go
text
live
or?
a little bit later, so
Oh, okay. All right. Appreciate it.
no problem at all. Anybody have any other questions before we head out?
Yeah, yeah. On the bot, you said he does have a payment plan.
Yes. Yes, I think it's 6 month payment plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's 6 months. And right now he's getting an additional 20% off on top of my 50%. So that brings it from 5,000 all the way down to $2,000.
Went
And
up
how
about
long does this last
998.
for the month of March?
Yeah, I
March
think he's
Madness?
doing it all March Madness. So he says he's going to do 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Will,
But
on the bot itself, I I had an issue with it on Friday because I
mhm.
lost two trades on it. Uh, and so I guess it was something that was going on or what have you, and they were going to do an update on it from what I heard.
Yeah,
Uh, so it was funny because I had lost like 400 on each trade, and I just went back to the manual trading and got it back to the positive, which was good because I remember you telling me that. But uh,
nice.
yeah, so the bot actually, when I set up the settings the day before, it was 9 out of the 10 trades
Oh, nice.
were good. Yeah, so I don't know what was going on Friday. It was just really bad, but
Yeah, and that's why like an hour, like I normally trade or practice for an hour at night. I'll run the bot 10 times. I'll literally run it 10 times and see what setting is at least 8 to 9 out of 10. And whatever that setting is, that's what I run the next day.
yeah, I mean it was perfect. I mean it was running great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
I've literally it's literally been getting my evals approved left and right.
Um, speaking of bots, Mr. H, do you mind taking a look at mine? I was speaking with Stefan, and he was saying there was a lot of just like it was some positions still on, and there was just charts. Just I don't know what's happening either. I couldn't really tell, but just recommended I reach out to you, and I was like, yeah, I need to ask him about it
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. We can set a
at
time
it.
up so we can look at it before Monday, especially.
yeah, he did
Because
say
yeah,
that
we want to definitely look at those.
he did
Okay.
say that there was Stefan did say there was going to be an update either Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
We're probably talking about the same thing that
But yeah,
happened.
probably talking about the same thing because I ran it Friday. It did fine on my end, but remember, I had mine set at like $200. Like, give me my 200, get up on my face. So I don't be trying to make too much because I know with my all my evals, if I just do $200 a day, they'll get approved.
Mhm.
I'm in no rush for those. But yeah, if it had issues, he said he's gonna do an update. Then yeah, he'll definitely do an update. And
Okay.
then however that goes, we'll set a time where we can sit down and go over that as well. All right, so we good now?
I'm good.
Good. All right, and Cherry, just shoot me a couple times that you're available today or tomorrow, and we'll pick a time to sit down with the bot.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. And I'm a contact, and if you want to contact John, his email. Let me see, what is John email? Hold on, let me see. I think it's Beast. I'm pretty sure it's Beast something. His email is I'm gonna put it in the chat. So yeah, if you're interested in joining John's group, it's just beasttrader65 at gmail.com. And just let them know that you're a student. Just say you're one of Will's student. That way he'll give you the I think it's like 175 for the rest of the month. That way you can see how we trade, check it out, learn. You still learn something. All right.
Hey, one last thing before you go.
Mhm.
I got my playback going, but it never kicked in. Uh the price line never came in.
Is it moving or anything? It's still gray. Is this
Uh
still gray?
what do you mean?
Is a play symbol still is gray?
No, it's the little box, it's moving. The time is moving on that, but the chart, the price line never came in. It's still
Oh,
saying,
the indicator.
yeah, right, the indicator.
Oh. Did you try removing it and adding it again?
Okay, I will. Look,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
just
let you
yeah.
go. I just
Let me see. Yeah, price line. Yeah, just try to remove it and add it again.
okay.
Because it is playback, so sometimes the indicators be acting a little funky on playback.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to me too. I'm like, all right, let me remove and add it again.
Right. Okay, all right, I'm good.
All right. All right, guys. Well, other than that, this is going to be in the Discord as well. Give me some time to load up and then I'll add it.
Thanks, Will.
All right, no problem at all.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Coach.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Will.
Will.
Enjoy the rest of your weekends. And shoot me those times so we could schedule time to do live charity and Mark.
Okay.
Okay.